And welcome back to redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey, and you know what folks, we have our friends at allfreecrochet.com also joining along with the mystery crochet along, and together for the three of us we're going to be releasing you clues. You can tune into any one of us, Red Heart as well as allfreecrochet.com as well as the Crochet Crowd, and you can get your clues every Tuesday. So April 1st all the way to April 22nd is going to be the mystery days on Tuesdays, and by the time we get to the final video on April 22nd, you're probably going to figure out exactly what it is, because if you haven't figured out by then, you have no business being in the world of crochet. No, but seriously, this is one of those key projects where, because you don't know what it is, what colors are you going to choose in order to make it? You have no idea. So for myself, this is a really hard concept for me to be able to do, because I'm going to want to tell you exactly what this project is, and in fact it's looking at me right now, and because you don't know what it is, what colors are you going to start with? So let's get started. Today we're going to need a list of materials, and there's a link in the more information of this video which you can click to access to go through everything that you potentially need for this particular project. I strongly recommend a little box or a bag that you can carry on, because as each week goes, you're going to be able to doing a different component or components with an S, and then essentially you can put those inside the little box or the bag, and then you can wait for me next week as you get more clues. And by the time we get to the final week, on week number 4, you're going to figure out exactly what it is, and you're going to see how everything comes together. So you're going to be looking at this box saying, what exactly am I making? You will really not have a clue until we probably get to video number 3, and definitely if you don't get it by video number 4, then we won't even go there. So today let's start off. We're going to take you down to the studio, and we're going to start off with our first project, and I have determined that I'm going to be making my project using blue. So let's get to it right now. So let's start off our project today. We're just going to create a slip knot. I am using Super Saver for my particular project, and I'm using a size I or a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook today, and we're going to be working on the head as per the instructions. So you can get that in the more information of this video. There is a link. And so when we're starting with this pin, we're starting at the top of the head. So it's like the top of the back of the head. So let's begin. We are going to, it says with A, which means color. So this is going to be the main color of my body that I'm going to be choosing for my entire creature. So it says chain 2. Remember, this number counts as 1. So 1 and 2, and let's move on to round number 1. So round number 1 says 6 single crochet, second chain from the hook, and then place the marker at the beginning of the round. So what we're going to do is just go into the very starting chain and just pull through, and we want a single crochet around in that center for 6 times. So that was 1, and this is 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6. And what I want you to do is I want you to leave that tail hanging out, because then you'll know the back of the head when it comes to the final of this. And before you go any further, I want you to put in a stitch marker right on this last stitch right here. And so I'm just going to take my marker that I have, and I'm going to come in from behind, and this is just an easy way to make it really simple for you, is just pull through just a portion of it, and then you know when you get there, then that means that you have gone all the way around. So let's move along to your next round, and with the particular project we're going to go around in continuous circles, so we're never going to slip stitch, so you will never see slip stitching within the head of your creature. So let's begin round number 2, and round number 2 starts right here. So some people see this kind of string hanging out here. That is not the starting. Okay, it's the one just folded right in front of you there. It's just right in your face, and we want to put 2 single crochet into each stitch going all the way around. So what happens is, now that we've gone around 6 times in the last round, therefore there should be 12 stitches by the time we're left. So for myself I would go 1 and 1, so that there's your 2, and then put in the next 2 into the next. So I would go 2 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 5 and 5, and this is your stitch marker, so it's the last stitch, so this will be 6 and 6. And before you go any further, I want you to take that stitch marker now and come in from the back side again on where you just did that, and grab that stitch marker and just pull it through, and leave this remaining area here so that you can continue to see that. So now you can safely say that you've done round number 2 and you've marked it and ready on for round number 3. So now that you have established your stitch counts to be right, because the way that you just did it, you can be sure that every time you go around you're gonna end up with the right exactly amount of stitches you need. So in round number 3 we're gonna single crochet into the next stitch, and then the next one after that is 2 single crochets into that one, and we're gonna repeat that all the way around. So okay, so the next one is by itself, so a single crochet, and the next one is going to have 2 single crochets in there going all the way. So one by itself and the next one has 2. So we're essentially just growing this thing like it's a normal circle at this point. You see it's kind of still flat. Okay, so this one will have 2, and then 1 and 2. And here's the secret. When you're working on these things, the stitch marker is the final of stitch. So the next one is single by itself, so because this is the final it ends up with being the double. So every time you're doing doubles and stuff, that it will be the very last stitch that you're working on. So now what I want you to do is just move that stitch marker up again, so coming from behind or the front this time, grabbing the string and just pulling it through the base of that stitch, and you know that you've just completed round number 3. Okay, round number 4 is really easy. The next 2 single crochets are by themselves, so 1, and the next one by itself is by itself, and then the next one has 2. Okay, so we're just continually growing. So again, so the single crochet, and the next one will have 2 single crochets inside. Keep repeating that all the way around until you get to the stitch marker, and if your math is done right, the stitch marker will be the end up with the 1 with the 2. So continue to do that. We'll meet you right back in just a moment, moving up to round number 5. So I'm just finishing up round number 4, and as promised, your last one should be where the double exists. So there will be 2 single crochets there, and again please move up your stitch marker, just going to the last stitch underneath and just grabbing this and pulling it through. See, I like how you can follow the line going up so that you're never lost within this project. So let's move up to round number 5. Round number 5 is just as simple, and now the next 3 are going to be by themselves. So 1, the next one, 2 is by itself, and 3 are by itself, and then the next one there's 2 in there. So that is your same pattern throughout this particular round. So 1, and the next one's 2, the next one's 3, and then the next one will have 2 single crochets. So continue that all the way around. We'll meet back up at the stitch marker once again. So we're coming back all the way around and we're just finishing up. So 1, 2, and 3 by itself, and then of course the double falls on the stitch marker. So what do you know? So you can see that the rhythm is happening, and again I just want to move that stitch marker up so I never get lost within my project. When you don't use stitch markers, you do start second guessing if you've gone all the way around or not. So let's move up to round number 6. Round number 6 is just as simple. So let's begin. The next 4 are by themselves. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 are by themselves, single crochets, and the next one will be a double again. So 2 single crochets in there. So let's do that again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and coming into the next one there will be 2. So continue to do that same rhythm all the way around. We'll meet back up at the stitch marker. Your head, by the way, is almost at full size. Okay, we're just finishing up around number 6, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and look where that stitch marker is, right where the ones that you want to put the double in. So that's where we're going to put 2 single crochets, and again I'm moving up that marker. So now the project is going to take a different turn of events. So let's begin, and we are just going to start off with round number 7. Now round number 7 all the way to 13 is exactly the same thing. So every time you get back to the stitch marker, count it as a round. So round number 7 all the way to 13 is just continually single crocheting all the way around. Now this is going to cause it to bowl shape, to create a bowl, and when it does the bowl I want you to do it so the side that you're looking at is going to be doing it so that it's going to be on the outside. So this is the good side, this is the wrong side. So I want you to do it when it's doing the bend to make sure this stays on the outside. So continue rows all the 7 to 13 on your own, single crocheting for each one, and come back. We're going to start round number 14 together, and that's where it's going to start taking a really interesting twist. Okay, so as promised, I'm back on and ready to start round number 14, and I have moved up my stitch marker, as you can see. And round number 14 is kind of unusual. So this head is just not like a pill shape. It's not round. It's kind of a little different if you haven't figured it out yet. And what we have here is that round number 14 is going to get us to do a little bit of narrowing of the head to go from the back of the head to the front of the head. I was gonna say exactly what this character is, but I'm not going to. So here we go. So it's gonna say single crochet into the next single crochet for 10 times. So we're gonna do 10. So single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we have our 10 there to satisfy the pattern, and it says single crochet 2 together, which is the next. So the next one is you just go in, pull through and hold, into the next one, pull through and hold, and then now pull through all 3, and now you've just made 2 into 1. So we're going to repeat that same pattern again 2 more times. So we're going to go 1, 2, so we're just going to go to the next 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now the next 2 are together. So pull through, go into the next one, so the single crochet 2 together, and now again for the final. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, look at that stitch marker coming back, 9 and 10, leaving you 2 stitches before the stitch marker. That means that you're right, and so pull through and pull through, and now these 2 are together. So that completes round number 14, and what we're going to just do is now move the stitch marker up to satisfy keeping the counts, and right now my counts are absolutely perfect. So let's move along to round number 15 next. So round number 15 is very easy. We're just going to single crochet yourself all the way around. So no fancy stitch work. The reason why we're doing this is that it allows the head to naturally decrease without just getting all of a sudden really crazy and having some weird shaping. So just single crochet all the way around for round number 15. And I'll meet you back up at the stitch marker. Start round number 16 next. Now round number 16 is really easy again, and I'm not going to show you all the way around. We're just going to abbreviate it again. So it says single crochet into the next 9 single crochets and then 2 together. So it's just like what you've done already on row number 14 where we did the 10 thing. Now it's 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and now the next 2 are together. So you're going to just continue to do that 2 more times all the way around, and you will end up back at the stitch marker again where those 2 will become the final 2 togethers for this round. So carry along round number 16. We'll meet you back up at the stitch marker and start round number 17 together. So we're at the stitch marker, and now it's time for round number 17. Very easy. This entire round we are starting just single crochet all the way around. So to meet me back up at the end of the stitch marker, and we're going to start round number 18. So again, very simple, and you're going to start noticing that the pattern is going to start pulling in on the front. So this is the back of the head here, and you're going to notice that the front of the head is going to start taking shape in just a few more minutes. So round number 18 is ready to go, and this one is really unusual. So just bear with this, because this is going to start doing some really crazy shaping to your head. So here we go. It says single crochet 2 together 6 times. So we want to do the next 2 together. So we're going to say 1, there's 1, 2 together there. So 1, and there's another one, 2, and another. This is 3. And another. This is 4, and another. It's 5, and another. It's 6. So there is our 6, and you're gonna see that it just did a sudden just dive right in the front. That's exactly what you need. So here we go. It says single crochet into the next 6 single crochets. So let's go for there. So single crochet into the next 6. So 1, and this is 2, and this is 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there is your 6 to satisfy that. And so the next 6 stitches are really interesting here. It says 2 single crochets into the next 6 stitches. So now I'll explain why that is in just a moment. So the next 6 single crochets along here, each are going to have 2 single crochets into each. So we have 1, so there was 2 in there for 1, 2 in here for 2, 2 in here for 3, 2 in here for 4, 2 in here for 5, and 2 in here for 6. And then carrying on in the instructions, what we have is single crochet into the next 6. So if this is working out right, the next 6 are just single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so what you're going to start noticing here, this is 6. This is take number 1, and the stitches are working out, which is good. But what's happening here is that you're going to start noticing that the head is going to start doing a downward turn. And essentially what's happening here is that in the front of the head it's diving down, which will be where your eyes will be eventually, and then here it's starting to dive downward and essentially giving more shape to this head. So without further ado, let's move on to round number 19 and 20. They're both the same. We are just going to single crochet ourselves all the way around for rows 19 and 20, and please do that, and when we come back we're going to be meeting up for round number 21. So carry on, round numbers 19 and 20, just single crochet around. So let's begin round number 21 together. In round 21 it says single crochet into the next 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and then it says a single crochet 2 together and repeat. Okay, so we're just going to do that. So all the way in this round is that we're just going to go 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and 2 together. So please do that all the way around. We'll meet back up at the stitch marker, and you're really going to start seeing this shaping of the head taking place, as well as I'm going to need my fiber fill soon. So I'm going to run upstairs and get that right now. So round number 22 is really simple, just single crocheting all the way around. You can really tell on this head that it's taking its time of coming to a shape, and because of that it makes this project even more adorable because it is taking its time. So now round number 23 says single crochet into the next 2 single crochets and then single crochet 2 together around. So again 1 and 2 by itself, and then the next 2 are together. So 1 and 2. So you're really going to start seeing it dive now toward the center. So again, so 1 by itself, 2 by itself, and then 2 together. So when we come back we're gonna be at the end of this, and I'm gonna start stuffing this head, and I'm gonna be giving some pointers on putting on the eyes. So I've now just gone all the way around, and I just finished off round number 23, and now it's time to stuff the head. So I have my fiber fill. You're going to want this head to be really firm. Do not overstuff this thing so that the stitches are splaying out and everything, all the stuffing's popping out. You want it to be firm, but you don't want it to be to the point where it's being overstuffed like a garbage bag. What a description. So I want you now to fill this as much as you can on the inside, and when we come back I'll have this stuffed, and I'm going to start placing the eyes and give you tips on where the eyes should go. So here's the side profile now stuffed, and you can see me squeezing it so you can get a rough idea. You can stuff a little bit more in it if you're wanting it to be a little more firm. So here is where the eyes are. It's right in the front up here somewhere. So what we want to do is that you're looking at it, see this is here, this is a nose area. I know. So what's happening here is that this here is the underside of the head. Okay, this is the nose coming around. So hopefully you're not guessing what the shapes are too much. But what we want to do is that I want to put in my eyes at this point, and I want to look at this thing, and I need to do the eyes before I go any further because I need to put the backing on. I need to make sure I can get on the inside. So what you can do at this point is that you can just kind of rough out where these eyes should go. So I'm just going to put one in and determine whether I like it at this point. So with the safety eyes, they have to be done at this point before you close it off. So you can do that if you wish. And again, you can always shape it afterward. So what I'm going to just do, sorry for wasting so much time, is that I want to make sure I can reach it behind now and snap that into position. So I'm going to be stretching him. So now I'm like a surgeon getting underneath this character. So my eyes are now into position just like you see here, and it's going to be really cool, it's going to be fabulous, and now it's time to carry on. And we can add more stuffing to this as we go along. So we've left you off with doing the fiber fill area, so let's move on to round number 24 next. When we're restarting round number 24, we want to make sure that we can actually tighten everything back up. You would have loosened off your outside last stitch, so make sure you tighten it. So round number 24, very simple. We are just going to single crochet ourselves all the way around. So just like this. So please single crochet all the way around. We'll meet back up in just a moment. And we just have a couple more rounds to go. Let's move along to round number 25. Off camera, I put more stuffing in here just so you're aware, and just to make it more full. And so what I have now is single crochet into the next. So we're just going to carry on single crochet into the next, and then the next one will then be single crochet 2 together. So that's all you're going to have to do for this round. Very easy. So next one by itself, and the next 2 are together. Please do that all the way around to the stitch marker, and we are almost done this particular component. So this is round number 26. This is the final round of the day, and essentially I just put more stuffing again in between the last take and now, so you can really start seeing that the snout is really starting to lift off just like this, looking really good. So in this round here, it's 2 together all the way around. So the first stitch is 1 and then 2, and then let's put them together. So please do that all the way around, and this is the final. When we come back, we're just going to grab our darning needle and just finish off his snout. So what we're doing here off camera is just that I've cut the string already, and we are just going to pull out this string that is there. So you'll notice that there's still a hole in the front. So this is where our darning needle comes into play. What we have now is that we still have remaining stitches open, but what we're going to just do is that we're going to seal them off with just using a darning needle, and we want to collect the stitches and pull everything shut. So we're just going to put our needle in like this. And what I want to just do is collect the remainder stitches. Okay, so it's like a whip stitch, so just going in, and I'm going to pull everything tight in just a moment. I just want to kind of get it around. And now what I want to do, now that I've gone all the way around, I can pull on this and everything just came nice and shut. So what I want to do now is that I want to weave in my ends really nicely here because this is going to be exposed. So what I want to do is that I want to go back on the inside of this. And do you see at my little point here, I'm making sure that I'm going in between fibers and yarn strings so that I can just nicely separate fiber so that I can pull that through and go back in without even being noticeable. And this is kind of one of those cool things as well. So just continuing just to hide in the loose ends. Just see how I'm just jumping back and forth. And I just got to be careful when I'm going across, I don't over tighten anything, so that this here is just meant so that I can safely just hide in the loose ends without anybody noticing. Especially if a little one is going to be playing with this thing, that you don't want them to pull apart your work. So now that I've gone back and forth 3 times, I can safely cut that out. Okay, and now here is the stitch marker, so he's like an operation waiting to happen. I can just simply just pull him out, and voila, you have your top. So join me next week when we have more clues on what your project is, and hopefully you are enjoying the mystery crochet along today. Until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of redheart.com, allfreecrochet.com, as well as thecrochetcrowd.com. We'll see you.